Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be reacting to the cast of Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans. Now this has been a long rumor mill, it has been a long casting process, lots of excitement, lots of hype around this, a lot of controversy, a lot of people chattering on social media, who deserves to be there, who doesn't, who was snubbed, who was cut, and just this Survivor 50 cast has just been the talk of the town if you look at reality TV recently. And 49 is 100% being overshadowed. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about each and every person on this record-setting 24-person cast of Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans. I'm going to talk about who I'm excited to see, who I'm not excited to see, who I think deserves to be there, who doesn't. Most of them deserve to be there, and then eventually I will get into a recasting video on who I think should have been on Survivor 50 and who I would have put on Survivor 50, but in the meantime I'm just going to be reacting to the cast. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first person on the cast is Jenna Lewis Doherty from the very first season of Survivor Borneo, and from Survivor All Stars. Look, I get it. You needed to have someone from the very first season on the celebration of Survivor Season 50, and I really do like this pick. If you look at that Borneo cast, who is going to be the most adaptable to the new era? Who do you think could adjust their gameplay? And I think if you look at everyone, aside from the winner, Richard Hatch, the one that would fit in the most is 100% Jenna Lewis, and I'm very excited to see her. Now, I'm worried, is she connected enough? Has she watched? Does she know how the game works? But if anyone is going to adapt to that type of gameplay, it's Jenna Lewis. She was one immunity win away from ruining the legacy of Rob and Amber Final 2 and potentially beating Boston Rob or Amber potentially in the end. She could be a winner right now, and I just think I'm just very excited for this pick. This is kind of an out-of-the-blue pick, but if we needed someone from Borneo on, and I'm glad we got someone, and I'm very, very satisfied to see Jenna on. Next up from Season 2, as Jeff said, the first All-American hero of Survivor, it is, of course, Colby Donaldson. Now, I'm very, very excited to see Colby Donaldson. I'm bummed he is not there alongside the first ever villainess, Jerry Manthey. I think that would have been a full circle celebration having both Colby and Jerry on. So this is actually Colby's first time playing Survivor without Jerry Manthey at all. Now, the first two times we saw Colby, he was that Superman, he was the challenge beast, he was very charismatic. Then in Season 20, we saw a miserable Colby. He was miserable in the challenges. He told people, hey, heroes, just vote me out. I'm ready to go home. Yet they kept him, and he was the last hero standing, and he delivered the, in my opinion, single best confessional of all time in the Survivor Heroes versus Villains finale. I'm glad to see Colby back. I don't know how he'll fare. Like, I saw a thing on Twitter the other day where it was like, imagine trying to explain the knowledge is power to Colby, seeing him go on a journey and lose his vote. Maybe he'll blame his brother Reed for that too. I don't know. I just think it'll be funny to see Colby try and adjust to this new era. One thing about Colby, I think he's a lot more passionate now about playing Survivor than he was in Survivor Heroes versus Villains. And if Colby can go far and we can kind of get that glimpse of that old school Colby just a little bit with the charm, maybe win a challenge or something like that, I think we're in for a treat with Colby. I think if this is a celebration, you have to bring a guy as iconic as Colby back. I think a lot of people are like, why is he back? We don't need to see him. People need to realize the early 2000s, all the talk of the town was Survivor, and Colby was one of the most popular people at that point. He was on red carpet events taking pictures with celebrities, like A-listers, celebrities. People knew who Colby was, and he was at the peak of Survivor, and he was probably at one point the most popular Survivor. So Colby had to be here, and I get the pick, and I'm excited, and I hope he does well. The next person on this cast is Stephanie LaGrossa Kendrick. Now, Stephanie, just like Colby, one of the most popular players of her time, so popular that she was brought on to the very next season, Survivor Guatemala, where she pushed all the way to the final two and got second due to a bitter jury. And here is Stephanie again. I'm not sure how she will do. I really hope she does well. I really enjoy Stephanie. I just like her charisma, her energy. She's a very, very tough woman. She's a strong woman in those challenges. And I'm excited to see her again. I'm worried for her. I think she can be a little loud. And Stephanie's a popular Survivor player, but Stephanie's not a good Survivor player. I think her mouth can get her in trouble. Sometimes she says a lot when she should maybe be quiet a little bit. I hope she adapts to the strategy. Maybe she'll get closer to some of those newer era players. I'm very excited to see her, and if she goes far, I'd be very, very happy with it. But I'm a little worried because I'm not sure how she will interact with some of these people, to be honest. Next up is Siri Fields. Of course, there was never a doubt in my mind that she wouldn't be on 50. It seems like Siri, if you asked her to do a reality show, she'd be like, sure, I'll do it. It seems like she's done every reality TV show at this point, minus The Amazing Race. She's done all the Survivors. She's done Australian Survivor, which I will be covering eventually. She's done Traitors, Big Brother. She's literally done it all. And, of course, another one of those. Siri just had to be here for such a milestone season. And a lot of people I'm hearing are saying, oh, Siri is in trouble. I think some of those old school players who know who Siri is, who know who she is, yeah, I think they would target her based on her reputation alone. But I think Siri can do well. I think some of those new era players potentially could be starstruck when interacting with Siri. And listen, Siri just has that charisma. She just has that thing about her that makes you really trust her and not want to turn on her. I could see some of these new era players being like, I don't want to turn on Siri, and maybe just looking up to her as a legend. And I think Siri will do well. However, in true Siri fashion, I don't see a world where she wins, because I don't see a world where anyone would let her in the final three or two, whatever it is, probably final three. If she gets there, it's a shoe-in win for her, 100%. So I think Siri will do well, probably go far, like she always does, and find some heartbreaking way to go home. Hopefully it's not a rock draw that sends her out this time or something insane like that. Next up's the original Jungle Boy, Ozzy. Okay. I was very pumped to see the first four names: Jenna Lewis, Colby Donaldson, Stephanie LaGrossa, and Siri Fields. I thought, perfect. If you want to pick some of those legendary players, those are the ones. I see the direction they were going. I was very entertained by him the first 3 times he played. But when he came back for Game Changers, he was very boring. And most could argue that was him trying to play a social game, and it was very boring. I would love, more than nothing, to see an Ozzy where he is not afraid to speak his mind, like Ozzy was in season 16, 23, and 13 in Cook Islands. Because he said whatever he wanted, and I'd love to see Ozzy just be a beast in the challenges, climb up the trees like the olden days. I get where they were coming from. A lot of people know who he is, and he's a very, very popular player. I get it, but if you're going to pick another male legend kind of from this era, I'm not sure if I would have gone with Ozzy. I probably would have gone with another player. But, hey, he's back, and look, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying I'd rather pick other people. But, hey, he's back, and, if he goes far, good for him. Next up, we have Benjamin Coach Wade. Coach is back, the Dragon Slayer, and I am very, very excited to see Coach grace our televisions again. Look, this guy is pure chaos. He was pure chaos with just his social media leading up to Survivor 50, saying, maybe I'm on, maybe I'm not, hinting that he's on heavily. Someone says, does an NDA exist to you? And he goes, the Dragon Slayer plays by his own rules. This guy's going to bring it. And I think maybe a year or two ago, I remember seeing him say, if he ever came back, he would go full Dragon Slayer. We wouldn't see Cult Leader Coach that we did in South Pacific, which is actually the version of Coach that probably has the best longevity. But character-wise, which is what everybody loved Coach for, season 18 and 20, I would just love for that. Coach, could you imagine Coach just interacting with some of these players we'll get to later in the list, like Q and Angelina? It's just, oh my gosh, that would be so fun. I'm very excited to see him. I hope he lasts a long time. I don't know if he could win, but I just want to see Coach go far, see him enough where he can have more memorable moments to put on our screens. You know, during the reveal, they brought the Eagle Screech music back. I'm just very excited for this one. I'm very hyped for Coach. Next up, we are taking a big jump from season 18 to season 32 with Aubrey Broco. Okay. I hope we can get co-wrong Aubrey, because I enjoyed that Aubrey very much. I don't think Aubrey is going to be seen as big as a threat as she was in Game Changers and as she was in The Edge of Extinction. I think people won't look at her as a threat. I don't think they will. I think Aubrey is actually in a pretty good position. I think Aubrey could go far. A lot of people are like, we don't want to see Aubrey again. I'm kind of in the middle. I think she could do well. And if we see the co-wrong version of Aubrey, I am absolutely all here for it. I think she'll do well. I don't think she'll be an early boot. I think she can integrate herself very well. She's very smart, savvy, and strategic. Unless she gets with Q. If you know, you know. But Aubrey Broco, I'm okay with it. I probably could have gone without her. If I would have seen anyone from Co-Wrong, I would have rather have seen Sydney Gillen, but yeah, it's okay. Next up, we have Chrissy Hoffbeck. Now, this is the first player on this list that is playing for a second time and not a third or a fourth or a fifth time. I'm very excited to see Chrissy. She's waited a long time for a second shot. I really think she got screwed over with the surprise Final Four fire-making twist, where I thought a win was set up for her or one of her allies, but instead we got a Ben victory, which I was okay with, but I think she definitely deserves a second shot, and I am very satisfied with this choice, and I think she'll do well. I think she's just good talker, very well spoken. I don't see anyone targeting her early for any particular reason. I'm very happy and satisfied with this one. Next up, Angelina Keely from David vs. Goliath, season 37. And heck yes, I am very excited to see her back. The first time she's truly been eligible for a call for returnee season. Of course, she has to be there. The Rice negotiation. The Natalie, can I have your jacket? I think this is the right pick. She deserves a second shot, and hopefully we sort of see that same Angelina. I'm sure she'll learn from the last time and probably be less outspoken, but a couple Angelina moments wouldn't hurt. Some funny ones, and I'm just very satisfied with this one. CBS hit it out the ballpark with this pick. Next up is the runner-up of Survivor David vs. Goliath, Mike White, and the writer and director of White Lotus, which is a very popular TV show that is widely talked about. I think it's safe to say that maybe everybody on this cast probably knows who Mike White is, or at least has an idea of who Mike White is. The only one who may not know who he is Colby. I don't know. But, I don't know. I don't see a world where Mike White wins, but I see him either doing really good or really bad. I think a lot of people are going to be buttering him up. Maybe they want a cameo on a TV show. Maybe they just want to work with him for that, which, listen, I think he definitely could use that to his advantage. But Mike White's also a very smart Survivor player, and he's very well connected. He's great friends with Angelina and Christian, who I'm going to talk about next. And all these new era players, I'm sure, adore him. I think Mike White is positioned well. Do I think he'll win? No. He's got a lot of money, very successful. I think he will get cut at some point, but I wouldn't be surprised if he went far. I think a lot of people want to work with Mike White, and I'm excited to see him. This is a player I actually never thought I would see again just because of his reputation alone and the White Lotus and all that schedule, but he said to Jeff Probst directly, I want to play again, so looks like we're getting Mike White, which, if you look at all these articles about the Season 50 cast, he headlines it. It's like Survivor 50 back, White Lotus's Mike White is on. He's there for the headlines for sure. Next up, Christian Hubke. Very excited, well-deserved, needed a second chance. So after Aubrey, Chrissy, Mike White, Christian, Angelina, all those people, I'm very happy to see get a second chance. And I think the new era sort of overshadowed them. And now season 50, it's their turn to get their moment for a second shot. And Christian, well-deserved, is a huge lock. He was a lock from the start. I always suspected that Christian and Angelina would be on, not Mike White. But I always suspected at least Angelina and Christian. And now here they are, and I think Christian's also well-positioned because he's got that charisma, but he's a very big target as well. So we'll have to see how that pans out for him. Next up, Rick Devens. Also clumped in there with all those second chancers who were sort of overshadowed by the new era. He deserves to be here 1,000%. I'm glad Devens is back. I know a lot of people are annoyed with this one, but gosh, correct me if I'm wrong, the guy holds the record for most idols found in a season. He was just surviving after tribal after tribal after tribal before Chris Underwood pulled the biggest, most bold move of all time. Man, I'm excited to see Devens, and I think he'll do well. He is definitely one of Jeff's favorites. Jeff is all about Rick Devens, and I think Rick Devens is a very social player. I think he'll do well. I think he's got upside, and I definitely think Rick Devens can win Survivor 50. Next up, the first new era, Jonathan Young. Look, boring, yes, but not boring to watch in those challenges. He was just, he was such a dominator. I actually enjoyed watching him in the challenges manhandle all of these guys. Just absolutely destroy them. However, he is very boring. But I see the vision, what they were going with. It looks like Survivor wanted to appeal all the audiences, the Facebook people, the casual fans who are very in love with those challenge beasts like the Aussies, the Jonathans, the Stephanies. Come on. You had to have expected them to be there. The Joes, we'll get to him later. But Jonathan's back. Do I think he'll win? No. I don't really think he has a chance to win. Maybe he can make a couple connections, but I don't see a world where Jonathan wins. I'm just excited to see him back, and hopefully he beasts out the challenges again. So yeah. That's really about it with Jonathan. Next up, we have the winner of Survivor 45, Dee Viadarz. Okay, so looks like we're doing winners. I was not expecting that at first. At the start of this Survivor 50 rumors, it was like no winners. But then Dee gets on. And she just did Challenge Season 41. And she is quickly coming back home and hopping right into Survivor 50 as a winner with that target. However, if anyone can evade that, I think it's Dee. I think she's got those right connections, especially in the new era. I don't really think she can be bothered. I think Dee's got a good connection with a lot of these people. Do I think she can win a second time? No, probably not. Her reputation will precede her, or whatever that saying is. I think Dee is definitely the most dominant winner of the new era alongside the other new era winner that was on this cast. They did put the two best new era winners on 50. So, hey, I guess props to them, the casting. But I'm excited to see her back, I guess. But I really am not thrilled at the idea of winners being on. Because if you were going to put winners on, Todd, Earl, Vesepia, Fabio, bring them back maybe. Jenna, Maraska, not D, or the other winner coming up. But hey, whatever. I liked D when she played Survivor 45, and if she can create that same deceptive, chaotic magic, I'm all for her playing again. Sure. Next up, Emily Flippin. Okay, this is a no-brainer. This is one of the biggest locks of the new era. I loved her story going from definitely going home to given a little opening and she turns her game around. However, I love the fiery Emily, and I think that's what most other people love as well. I hope we see a little bit of that. We saw a lot of it on some of the games she plays on. Rob has a podcast, like Blood on the Clock Tower, whatever that's called. She's really fun in that. And I think she's got a relationship with Christian Hubke. I think that's a good alliance. I think she has got that connection. She obviously has that connection with Dee. I think she's well positioned. Emily Flippin can definitely win. But I hope she speaks her mind because she'd be a lot more fun to watch if she does that. Next up from season 46, we've got Q Burdett. Come on. Another huge lock. And Q is easily my favorite player of the new era. If you wanted a new era coach, Q is the guy for you. The chaos, Q sent all of his tribe mates in saying he wanted to quit, and then, going from making all these blindsides, the fun character moments like the Q skirt, big mistake, you can cancel Christmas, and then all for his story to end with going home with an idol, not in his pocket, but in his Q skirt, of course, and awarding his former Yanu tribe mate Kinsey the $1 million. Q deserves a second shot. I don't think Q will win. I think he's well positioned. He's a very fun character. I hope, like Coach, I don't think either of them can win, but I hope they provide those fun character moments. And you know what? I think they will. Next up, Charlie Davis, the runner-up of season 46. Everyone says the closest player to never win, but so close, was Dominic Abate in Ghost Island with a tie. Well, I'd like to argue that for sure the second player that was so close to winning that didn't win was Charlie Davis. Of course, the whole thing with his number one ally being petty and bitter, voting for Kinsey to win for, yes, the dumbest reason under the sun. We could have seen another tie where Charlie would have been on the right side of history, and he was one vote away from being the winner of Survivor 46. So close for Charlie, yet so far. I think Charlie has a phenomenal chance of winning this time, though. Listen, I know people hate pre-gaming, but if you want to talk about pre-gaming, this is the guy to talk about. He follows everyone on the cast. He even managed to follow the season 49 people that other people had no idea were going to be on the season. Yes, he's following a cast member of them. So Charlie, well positioned from what I know. I think he's pre-gamed well. He's got a good reputation. I think he's got some good relationships going. I think he's got a good story going. Maybe he can win. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll come up short again. But I think Charlie definitely has a good chance of winning. Another 46 representative, Tiffany Nicole Irving. Whoa. I was shocked when I saw her name. I definitely did not expect Tiffany to be on season 50, but look, I'm here for it. I think she brought the drama with Q. She's a very, very smart player, and I think she is primed to win. A lot of people are locking in their winner picks as Tiffany, and look, why would anyone have a reason to target her? They don't. She's the lowest placing person on this cast for her first time playing, along with Jenna Lewis. So look, if you're gonna have a WTF pick, like where did that come from? This would be the one. It's better than say like a Say. I think Say would bring chaos, but between Say and Tiffany for like a what type of pick, I'd rather go with Tiffany, and she deserves some redemption as well. Went home with an idol in her pocket, just like Q, and I think it'd be very interesting to see how her and Q fare this time. And I also think she was cast because of what her relationship was like with Q, and I think the show probably wanted to re-explore that. But yeah, I think Tiffany has a great chance of winning, and I am not mad with this pick at all. Next up, from Survivor 47, Genevieve. Yeah, I like this pick a lot, and a lot of, the Twitter people like this pick for their sort of fan base, what they like. I think she had a very intriguing storyline, going from emotionless to very emotional. She definitely deserves a second shot. I think she has a good chance of winning, being the only rep from her season. She won't get grouped in with other people for being like a group with the herd mentality from her own season. I think she has a chance of going far. Why would anyone vote off Genevieve? She's only a number in the pre-merge. I think she could be sneaky dangerous. Genevieve definitely has got the potential. And yeah, I'm excited for her too. We got Joe next from Survivor 48, the most recent season. Okay. He played a very interesting game, very emotional game. I loved him and Eva. Such an emotional connection. I really never get emotional watching TV, and Joe made me emotional so many times. I'd like to see him play without Eva this time. Should be very interesting. Do I think he can win? No, not the way he talked at Tribal. Next up, we got the winner of Survivor 48, Kyle. I'm not a fan of the winners, like I said, but if you're going to bring winners back from the new era, two most dominant, D, Kyle, okay, I think he's got a target on his back. Everyone just saw him win. Pretty much enough said. Not much with him. I'm indifferent. Bleh, meh, whatever. Next, Camila Carthagisu, however you pronounce that. Season 48, I don't think we need 3 people from 48, but if anyone from 48 would be on, I think this is the right pick. Her going from being very doubtful at first to, as Jeff said, emerging an assassin. She had a good story. She deserves a second shot. I do think she's a target, but I think of all the people from 48, she has the best chance of winning. The mystery person from season 49, Rizzo, the Riz God. Don't really have anything to judge. All I know is Andy was cut from the new era side in favor of him, so maybe we'll see him play like an Andy type of game. That's all I really know, and that's all I really can say about him. Who knows? I don't think anyone from 49 can win because people don't know who they are. The last person out of 24 on this cast is the other 49 person, Savannah Louie. I think the only interesting thing to note about here is, without judging, she was on in place of winner of 42, Mary Ann. So, does Savannah win Survivor 49? Who knows? Guess we'll have to find out. Well, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe for the next one. Goodbye.